Hi, and welcome to our poster presentation, Periodic Energy Mass and Head and Headstones in Maltese WH constructions. As you may know, languages differ in their prosodic structure, and for languages that have both pitch accents and headstones, pitch accents are claimed to be the primary markers of prominence, while headstones delimit phrases. What is interesting about Maltese, it is that although it has lexical stress and regular pitch accents and headstones can alternate on the same phonological constituent as a function of sentence modality. Recent work investigated WH words in different positions in the phrase across modalities and found that when the WH word is embedded in a direct question, an early F0 peak analyzed as an headstone characterizes its word initial lexically unstressed syllable, while when the same WH word is embedded in an indirect question, a falling pitch accent marks its lexically stressed syllable. So our aim is to investigate the characteristics of the two different tone-bearing positions in Maltese WH words by systematically observing their prosodic strength. Specifically, we're looking into simple and complex WH words in Maltese embedded in direct, indirect, and quoted questions. And we ask whether there are acoustic indications for a prominent skewing function of the falling pitch accents on the stressed syllable of the WH words in indirect and quoted questions, and of the word initial H peaked in direct questions. So to investigate the prosodic strength of the different tone bearing positions, we follow an acoustic analysis based on the continuous periodic energy, and we measure the periodic energy as the sum integral of duration and power. Let's now move to the results. So this figure shows mass values of word initial and stressed syllables across the different WH words and question types. So our results show that periodic energy mass on the word initial syllable that bears the early H peak does not differ from the lexically stressed syllable. While when we compare the word initial syllable bearing the early H peak to the word initial syllable that it is characterized by no tonal event, we find that there is a moderate increase on the syllable that bears the tonal event as opposed to the syllable that is characterized by no tonal event. Now, when we compare periodic energy mass between the word initial syllable and the lexically stressed syllable that it is associated with a falling pitch accent, we find that the accented and lexically stressed syllable has stronger mass compared to the word initial syllable in both indirect and quoted questions. And further, in quoted questions, we find that the periodic energy mass is generally boosted across the whole word, and this is so because WH words are in narrow focus in this type of questions. And a last point that we should mention is the monosyllabic case, where mean is always lexically stressed. And when it is marked by the word initial H peak, its mass is stronger compared to when it is characterized by a falling pitch accent, but still in the quoted question, the mass is stronger. So we could conclude that the prosodic strength of the initial syllable is relatively weak when no tonal event is associated with a syllable, but it is enhanced when it bears an early H peak, and of course in the case of the narrow focus. The prosodic strength of the stressed syllable now is consistently strong across modalities, but when no tonal event marks the syllable, its mass does not differ from the mass of the word initial syllable that bears tonal event. So overall, we could say that lexical stress seems to preserve some prosodic strength even when the stressed syllable is not marked by any tonal event, but at the same time, when an early H peak is associated with the unstressed left edge of the WH word, this tonal event tends to enhance the prosodic strength of the word initial syllable. Thus, we could conclude that the increase in periodic energy in word initial syllable with an early H peak points towards a potential prominent string function, but of course, further research is needed to determine whether Maltese allows intonational tones, regardless of head or edge association, to serve the function of cueing the word prominence. Thank you, and looking forward to your questions.